Kayo po ay nakatutok sa Filam Community Hour with Allan Alvarez. And we are heard every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays 2 to 3 p.m. here on 1270 AM KNDI Radio. All right. So sabi ko sa inyo kanina, meron tayong special guests, and I'm just so happy that they're here because they're just so, how can I say, they love the Filipino culture so much that they promote it and they live it. They live it, they promote it, they experience it, and they want to share it with everybody. And that's what I really love about these guys. So there's two events coming up this weekend. So gusto namin pag-usapan yan, pag-uusapan po natin. And without further ado, I'd like to welcome on the program, may I say doctor or professor?
I don't have a PhD. I'm a
Oh,
doctor in mischief.
okay. Professor Ron Kirian of the University of Hawaii Kulintang program. And
PhD sa guluhan.
PhD sa guluhan, kaguluhan. And his better half, Miss Lydia Kirian from the El Carian Collective. Guys, welcome to the show.
Hello.
Thank you so much. Excited to be here.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, it's a pleasure to have you. And can you tell us, Lydia or Ron, what is this event happening this weekend?
So, I'm gonna give a brief history of our organization. It's called House of Gongs. We established it when we were still living in California. And it's a grassroots movement, and our job is to be the vessel and the bridge between the diasporic community and then also the indigenous communities in the Philippines. So it's a way for us to promote the untapped, or the parts of Philippine culture that we rarely talk about, right? Weaving, music, kulintang music, and that kind of stuff. The events that we are having this weekend, we were fortunate to partner with a few organizations that are based in California and in Manila who are doing the same similar work, curating people together to have conversations, dialogue about Philippine arts and culture. So we're having guests from Master Weaver from the Yakan community. She's originally from Basilan, and then she created a collective in Zamboanga called the Tuwas Yakan, and they're a group of weavers who are making beautiful weaving of, the Yakan community. And then the other guest that we have is Mirna Pula. She's a storyteller who pretty much knows almost all the epic stories in the Tiboli community and is the creative behind the Limlunay chant. So, yeah, this weekend we're gonna give the Oahu community an opportunity to be up close and personal with them by demonstrating weaving, telling stories, talking stories about their culture, and they'll also have an opportunity to have a quick cultural exchange with local Native Hawaiian weavers and practitioners who are doing the same artisan work as they are. So it's gonna be a good dialogue within the community.
I wanted to ask you about the you were saying the weavers. This particular weavers are coming in from Basilan, and I know that weaving is kind of unique in certain areas of the
Mhm.
Philippines, right? What is unique about this type of weaving that makes it special and something that Filipinos should know about?
So across the Philippines, weaving is actually based off of the landscape of their communities, right? If they are from the mountains, they have certain crops and certain, agricultural culture that they base their inspiration from. So the patterns of the weaving is based off of that. It also matters what is growing around their community. So, for example, in Lake Cebu, where the Tiboli community is, they have a very big abaca culture. So they harvest the abaca, they use the fibers, that's what they use for their own weaving. Recently, though, a lot of the weavers have adapted. Here's a sample. Ron is showing a sample of a yakan weaving. This is called bere bere. So the patterns are based off of their landscape. Like I think this is how they would row. This is based off of the rows of vegetables and crops that they grow in their villages and stuff. Yeah. So that's how it is. But
Basilan.
yeah, that's from Basilan.
And then
But
we have one weaver from Lake Cebu, from South Cotabato.
South Cotabato, right?
I don't have an example of that one sitting right next to me, but I think a lot of Filipinos in Hawaii and the diaspora might have something like what I'm showing here, with the rows and the colors in their house, and the weaving from South Cotabato, from the Taboli, I think is also very famous. Yeah, the dream weavers.
The dream weavers, because their patterns are based off of their dreams. Recently, though, a lot of the weaving communities all over the Philippines, they've adapted weaving using cotton and polyester because it's more accessible to the wearer. It's softer, that kind of stuff.
And what's the traditional fiber in
pineapple, abaca? I think some communities, they use bamboo fibers too. So there's several. It really depends on what's growing in their community.
Yeah, that's interesting. She's the expert on the weaving. I'm more music and hype.
Now, thank you for showing us that sample. That looks, to me, when I look at these weaving, and I didn't know that it's based on the land. I thought it was more based on, I guess the environment and the land. But this looks very, what Ron is showing out there. So this looks more, I would say, sort of a mountainous or mountain region. Would that be accurate or no?
Yeah.
Yeah. Would that be accurate?
Mm-hmm.
Because it looks more native and more in the Mindanao or the southern Philippines area than I would see in Ilocos, let's say in Ilocos Norte, where weaving is also very, very popular.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what can we expect, Lydia and Ron, during this, like a presentation? Are they going to do weaving for us, or what can we expect if we go to this event?
It's going to be a lot of fun. I think the first thing that visitors who make the trip out to Waipahu Library on Saturday, or to the YY Collective on University Avenue on Sunday, the first thing that you guys can expect to get is a very warm greeting of kulintang music from the University of Hawaii Kulintang Ensemble. And that's to get people to relax and loosen up, because I think, the response from the community has been amazing. Both events are almost at capacity. So I would encourage you, if you are interested, to reserve a spot as you're listening to this. And people are going to be really excited to meet these weavers, because the opportunity to interface with an indigenous master artist is rare. And one thing I've grown to appreciate in the community here in Hawaii is Hawaiian residents, Filipino Americans in Hawaii. We have a really high standard when it comes to cultural content. We don't settle for simplicity. We want the real stuff, with the mana, right? We want the igado, the bitter melon, the
pinapaitan,
the deep culture, and that's what we're trying to bring this weekend with the weavers and dreamers.
Thank you, Ron. Can you tell us again the date and the time and the location, so that we don't forget?
Yes. So for folks on the west side, we will be at the Waipahu Library, beautiful library with the historical Filipino American statues in front. Waipahu Library, Saturday at 12 o'clock noon. 12 o'clock noon at the Waipahu Library. And then the very next day on Sunday for our townies and Windward Side folks, you want to come to the YY Collective, which is on the ground floor of the Liberty Building on University Avenue, right across from campus on the other side of H1 at 2 o'clock.
Yeah. So both events are all donation based. You can find the registration on our website, houseofgongs.com/events. So a lot of people are asking what are the donation is. What's the donation for? So House of Gongs, we operate as a nonprofit, fiscally sponsored by Intersection for the Arts from San Francisco. And all of these programming are ran by heart. So neither Ron nor I have any stakes in this, and we when we find an opportunity, we bring them over. These are people that we've connected with throughout our travels in the last decade of our lives, because they provide us stories that we are able to share to the diasporic community where we belong. So the donation is important for us to be able to keep on doing this and making this offering to the Oahu community.
Yeah, I met these weavers when I was fortunate enough to travel Mindanao in 2018. But for my better half, for Lydia, she met them.
I'm always there.
2015. So this is like a 10-year process to build the relationship and lay down the groundwork, get the funding, get the visas, and for the stars to align for them to fly here 10 years later. And you know what's really cool, because Lydia locked in these dates several months ago, and since then both our weavers, our weaver from Basilan and our weaver from South Cotabato, both of them have since been featured in Vogue magazine. Super bonus. We didn't know that was going to happen.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Okay. You mentioned. Well, thank you for that. So let me just repeat that. So that's going to be on Saturday, April 20, at the Waipahu Library, starting at noon.
Correct.
And then on the next day at the YY Collective, starting at 2 p.m. And that's at the Liberty Building, right there off University Avenue. One thing also a part of the weaving is there's also a storytelling part.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So Mirna Pula, she's an elder and culture bearer from the Tiboli community in Lake Cebu and South Cotabato, and she's an epic storyteller. So she's able to share some epic stories from the Tiboli community from back in the day, from generations ago, that's been orally passed through her lineage of generation. So from like their gods and goddesses to the different deities that they believe in. So that's kind of like the type of storytelling that the community is going to witness from Mirna.
It's like the Filipino Kumulipo. These are
Yep.
our ancient, traditional, passed down across eons chants that explain the world from the Filipino perspective, and we invite all of local residents, especially those coming from Filipino families, to come and experience this and to meet them, shake their hands, and to exchange with them, because they're excited to see. I mean, I'm excited for them to see how interested Filipinos in Hawaii are in their knowledge. And how much
I wanted to
want
share that this is not the first time we're bringing master artists in the diasporic community, and 90% of the time they are blown away by how popular they are, because they don't know how hungry and thirsty the diasporic community is with culture and things that they don't really know. What we are learning is that it's very tip of the iceberg what we know in the diaspora in terms of culture. And then when we're able to like bring over master artists and elders over, to have just that cultural exchange and dialogue with the community, most of them are like mind blown, and they get hungry for more. So yeah, our goal is really to be able to unravel some parts of our history and our culture that we don't really talk about a lot.
I just have a comment from one of our listeners, Paul John Castillo, just typed in and said, "Meaningful work," and salamat. Okay, and I
Thank
Thank you,
share.
sir, Paul John.
Yeah,
That's why we do it,
Salamat
because it
po.
means so much.
when you talk about stories, guys, I'm thinking in my mind, is this similar to like chants? Are these things that, if I could tie it into Hawaiian culture, and at the same time, this chanting and this storytelling, is this also a way that they were able to pass down, stories of their culture?
Yeah,
Pre-internet, pre
Mhm.
pre AI. Can you tell us about that?
100%.
Yes,
100%. And
absolutely.
this is the type of thing where if the chant was to be transcribed and you were to read it, you're only experiencing a fraction of the power. Like, you really have to hear it from the voice. When Myrna chants her story, she's giving you the sound that she heard, and that from her teacher, and that her teacher heard from her teacher, and so on and so forth. So when you hear this chant, hundreds, thousands of year old chant, rare, unfortunately too rare information. This is the I like to say this is the antidote to our modern cacophony of noise and advertisements and Hollywood blockbusters. You know, what we're really trying to bring something special, and we know it's special because it was hard to accomplish. Anything worthwhile is difficult, and we checked off all the boxes for you guys. Bought the plane tickets, got the visas. God willing, no one will stop them at the airport, and we will pick them up from HNL without incident and greet them with lei and poi and introduce them to you Saturday and Sunday.
I don't know if you are familiar, but have you ever heard of Grace Nono? Yeah, is that similar? Something that we're gonna hear? Does she combine like
So,
music and sounds and
okay.
everything into that, or?
Grace Nono. I'm a huge fan of Grace Nono,
Yeah, we
especially
brought
her
them.
album
Yeah, we brought them here. I don't know, about 2016, I think we brought them.
2016.
Yeah, she had a concert here at the museum.
Yeah, and if
Super fantastic show.
I wasn't there, but I would assume that it was transcendental. She really takes you away, and her superpower is that she can blend these traditional chants. She sat for hours with chanters like Myrna, and
Mhm.
with Bob Aves, rest in peace. Together, they combine it into a modern music as a way to deliver these chants through modern channels. So, I'm sure if Grace was on island, she would be first in line to sit and hear these chants. So if you're a fan of Grace Nono or her contemporaries, Joy Ayala, Bayang Barrios, or even people on this side, Keola Beamer, um, uh, Kaikena Scanlan, you know, these people that are pushing forward indigenous knowledge, powerful chants, um, sustainable living, being one with the land, Malama Aina. That's the Filipino content that we've worked so hard. Lydia has worked so hard to bring you guys this weekend.
Um, is this free? Do we have to buy tickets to get into the event, guys?
So we have a registration. It's on our events page on houseofgongs.com. It's donation based. So, contribute what you can. If not, it's okay too.
And
But
this,
you can
yeah,
show up with just yourself and some mana with you, and yeah.
Yeah, come support. The reason we have to do it this way is because we need to provide data to the powers that be so that they can fund more of this, right? So showing support by registering is huge. Liking and sharing the content that we're on now with Sir Allan, it helps also. And donating if you can helps us do this more. And to put it in perspective, if all you can do is come and buy one textile, one garment from these weavers, purchasing one garment can feed the entire family of the weaver for over a month. So our impact here, it's Hawaii is the most expensive place to live, but if you can show up and buy one piece, you're feeding a whole family for a month.
So let me get this straight. So you're able to buy at this event these
Yes.
original weaves and get to experience the storytelling and sounds as well.
Yeah, we don't want them. We don't want the weavers going home with anything in their suitcase except memories and macadamia nuts. We don't want them to bring back any weaves
And cash.
and
And
cash.
yeah.
We want to leave them
Cash to
leave it
bring
all
home to
here.
their families.
That's right.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, guys, we have a couple of more minutes here. So could you please invite our listeners to this very interesting and very fun event that sounds like it to me? Please invite our listeners.
Mga kaibigan, come join us, House of Gongs, to welcome the national treasures, master weavers, two powerful women from the southern Philippines, Ate Mirna and Ate Everlinda, the two manangs from the south who are weaving stories, weaving garments, weaving textiles,
Weaving dreams.
weaving dreams, um, tying the threads of our reality into the knots that bind us together. This Saturday and Sunday at Waipahu Library, 12 o'clock noon on Saturday, and YY Collective on University Avenue, Sunday at 2. Waipahu Saturday and YY Sunday.
And you can register at houseofgongs.com/events. Both of the events are there, and you're able to register with just doing a donation.
All right, guys. So that's Professor Ron Kirian and Lydia Kirian with the very nice events coming up this weekend. Kung wala po kayong gagawin, mga kaibigan, punta po kayo at the Waipahu Library on Saturday, 12 noon, and then the YY Collective, 2 p.m. on Sunday. For registration, you can go to houseofgongs.com. Is that correct? Houseofgongs.com.
Yes. We're also
right.
on Facebook and Instagram at House of Gongs. So you can just
House
follow
of
that, and all of that is
All right.
all the information is there.
Thank you,
Thank you,
guys.
Sir Allan and
Salamat.
friends.
And yeah, we'll try to stop by one of these days on Saturday or Sunday. Probably see you there. And thank you, man. Thank you so much, and keep up the great work that you're doing for
Thank
the
you, Sir
Filipino
Allan.
community.
Thank you
so
for
much.
having us,
Shout out
Alan.
to you and your audience. Thank you.
All right. Maraming
Salamat
salamat po.
po.
Thank you
Agyamana.
so much. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Maraming
Mahalo.
salamat po. All right. Again, Professor Ron Kirian and Miss Lydia Kirian. Let me go ahead and give you the thought for the rest of the day before we end the program. The best view comes after the hardest climb. Stay tuned for Through the Bible right after this program, mga kaibigan, and Ading Brian taking you home on this beautiful Aloha Wednesday afternoon. Ito po si Allan Alvarez, nagpapaalam, nagpapasalamat at nagsasabi na mabuhay ang Pilipino sa Hawaii.